Hey guys, welcome back to episode 43 of Think Twice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Antrazi.
What's up,
buddy?
man? I was trying to get itch in before we
It's
started.
too late.
And
It's
now,
too late.
Yeah, now
We're going.
we
We're
got
already
it. We
going.
got it in. Okay. So last week,
Mhm.
I came up to Virginia.
You did.
Then we went together to glorious Baltimore,
We went to Baltimore.
and then we played in a team event with Orrin Beasley
Our good friend, old friend from back in the day, Orrin Beasley.
back in the day.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, and then
Good
we
time.
basically had two buys. Not really, but not like actual buys, but we had two people, not two teams. Not show up.
We had a concession and then a no-show back to back.
And then we missed day 2 at 6-3.
No, 5-4.
Wait, 5-4?
Yes,
Are you sure?
yes.
Okay.
We definitely had 3 losses going into that last round
Man, that's terrible.
because we started off 3-0.
Yeah.
And then we lost our next 3. Then we had 2 virtual buys, and then we lost the last round.
All right, so we did so hot. We started off good, but then I guess faltered.
Yeah, but we all played the next day in each of the classics for our respective formats. I played standard, I played legacy, or I played modern. We all did significantly better.
Yeah. Orin top aided.
Isolation.
I missed my win in for top 8, and Justin got top 16.
Nope, I got 17th.
Top 8. Okay. All right. So 17th.
Yeah, I went 6-2. Lost my second to last round, which would have been my win and in for top 8.
That sucks.
Yep. And then very, very small tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Got 17th place.
So you played Grixis Delver both days.
I did not change a single card.
Orm played Modern Humans both days.
Did not change a single card.
And
you took my advice because I said that I was talking about black cards a lot last week, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, black cards are really good. And then, as I go to bed on Friday night, you're like, yeah, I'm going to play a deck with black cards in it. And I'm like, cool, that's great. And then I wake up in the morning.
And I have Bant Super Friends registered.
Friends.
And then for the classic,
Friends.
and then for the classic, I played Mono Black Control.
Now, why did you switch? Is it because you didn't have any black cards in that Bant Friends deck?
No, honestly, I mostly switched because I'm not able to play enough, and I want to try both decks in paper.
Ah, interesting. You don't want to run back Friends?
No.
Regular Friends?
I wanted to try. Try out some Mono Black Control. And it was really good. Actually, I lost to my winner. I lost to the person that won the whole tournament, Zen Said, and we played.
I thought you played Zane in the last round.
Yeah, and he ended up winning the whole event.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, he beat me for top 8. Then he won the whole event, and
What was your I thought you were X3 at the end.
I was X3.
Oh, and X2 made it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he made it, then won the whole thing, and yeah. I think he was playing black white vehicles. I was not ready for that matchup.
Black.
And
ironically, you were the one that called out black white vehicles as a deck to watch out
week.
for. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, and this week it was, dare I say, the best deck, the new best hot deck.
Yeah, I still maintain that the blue white is the best deck, but blue white was not as prepared for vehicles as black white vehicles was for blue white, so had a better showing this last weekend, which brings us to question of the week last week. So the question of the week was, will a blue white deck be the deck to beat when we get to Pro Tour Dominaria? So of course I said yes, it will be. 49% of you agreed with me. Ollie said no, it won't be, and 39% of you agreed with him.
Yeah, I still think it won't be. I think the black white deck is real.
I think it's real too.
Very real. Yep. And
yeah, I still think that blue white is going to be the deck to beat.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
Maintain. I'll maintain. We got a little while, a few weeks to find out
we do.
before we get to.
Definitely do.
I want to give a shout out to everyone that is listening on any of our great platforms: SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, even Stitcher now. If you guys have a chance, it only takes a little bit of your time, but please leave us a nice review on any of those platforms, specifically Stitcher and iTunes, because that really makes a big difference in our visibility on any of those platforms. Follow us if you can, especially SoundCloud and YouTube for those two. That's just a really great way for you guys to support us that doesn't take any time or money on your part. It takes like a minute of your time, but outside of that, nothing else. So we would appreciate that if you guys could do it.
Please and thank you.
Yes, please and thank you. Oliver, are you ready to talk about our first segment? Because I am.
Yeah, all right.
I've been ready for a long time.
Have you?
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finally talk about why I hate Kamigawa block so much.
Okay, Justin, before we delve and dive deep down into why you have all this hate and dislike and...
No, not dislike.
All this hate...
Thank you.
And more hate.
I do.
And
it's awful.
I just want to thank,
go ahead.
Thank
go
everybody.
Ahead.
And four people come to me over the weekend in Baltimore, tell me they listen to the podcast. I sat down, talked to two of you. You guys were awesome. You guys gave me some feedback and told me what you like and how you skip around sometimes at the end because, you gotta watch the movie first. But that really made my weekend. So just want to give a quick shout out and say thank you to all the people that came up to me and talked to me about the podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys about it. In
person,
through email, through Twitter, any means. We love it.
Yeah. So do they call you Justin Kami of Hate?
No, because I would refuse to be a commie because I'm not stupid like commies are.
Why are commies stupid?
Okay. Where to begin?
I mean, this is your book. This is your bookworm.
So, it's come to a lot of people's attention as I've talked about it on Commander Versus so much. I really don't like Kamigawa block, and it's not that it's like one thing, because I can get over one thing. Like there's a lot of different blocks of Magic and a lot of different sets and things about Magic in isolation that I don't like. However, Kamigawa block is like the culmination of like 10 different things that I can't stand. I absolutely cannot stand. So I've tried to break it up into 3 things to make it easier to digest and for us to talk about.
Okay.
So I'll start with the first and foremost of these things, and this is probably my biggest. I don't know. They're all big, but I hate the mechanics of this block.
Okay.
So much. And a lot of people are going to say, when I get to one of these, they're going to compare to Dominaria. I'll address that. So you just hold your horses. 1, spirits. Spirits, prior to Kamigawa block, were not a supported tribe. Yes, there were spirits elsewhere, but they literally put all of these spirit-related things across all colors. They weren't even like isolated in like blue or white or black, any specific color. They're just everything. Everything's randomly a spirit.
Well, yeah.
So it's not like you have spirit tribal. It's like everything is a spirit. Yeah. Commons, uncommons, rares. But it's like the thing is, it's just like a lot of these stupid mechanics. This is in complete isolation of the block. If you don't like this mechanic for this block, you can't even take these cards and play with them outside of Kamigawa block. Like at this point, almost 15 years later, you have a much better chance in Commander, and that's it, and that's only some of them. But for the rest of the stuff, it's like you literally created a creature type and you just built the entire block around it in complete isolation. and you're just ignoring the rest of Magic. Like they want this block to be played in isolation. Not only spirits, but one of the worst mechanics ever, which is arcane spells or splice onto arcane.
Hey,
Again,
before we move to creatures, I've seen Kami of False Hope in some decks. All right, I've seen that card.
yeah, but there's so many other there's different Kami of False Hopes. Like the card, there's like 3 of those cards. There's a unicorn that does the same thing.
But it's not a spirit.
No, it's not.
All right, keep going. Keep going.
Anyway, arcane and splice onto arcane. This is even worse than spirits. Somehow this is even worse because you have arcane spells only in this block, and there are literally no other ones in Magic. None. Outside of Kamigawa block, there's no arcane spells. 0.
Okay.
A flat 0. Okay, so you have a mechanic, a defining mechanic of the block. You put on a ton of cards, and they're nowhere to be found. If you show a new player this, you're like, and they ask, "What is this?" If someone asks you what arcane is, what does that mean? What do you tell them? You don't even know. You don't even know.
It's a mechanic. Yes.
It's a mechanic. That's your answer.
It's the same way. Someone's asking, "What's horsemanship?" Well, horsemanship is like.
Dude, are you literally using? Okay, if your answer is using a mechanic from a portal set, then I rest my case. Try to not use a Portal 3 mechanic as an example, because Portal 3, even though I think that is, I'll get to that. That's part of part 2 actually is Portal 3.
But
Kingdom.
also before that, like we had affinity for artifacts, just literally affinity.
Dude, artifacts are in every single set.
Sure, but when's the last time you played a card with affinity?
Dude, you can play affinity cards with other artifacts.
I know, but there's like Broodstar. It's like blue, and then affinity for artifacts.
Yes.
Affinity's called affinity, not because of affinity, but that's just stuck.
What does that have to do with anything that I'm saying?
I'm just saying because arcane. Like.
What? That has nothing to do with it. You can literally play affinity for artifact cards in any deck with any artifacts printed at any time in Magic.
Okay, and you're saying you can't play arcane with any of the cards because they need arcane.
They have no effect. It's literally just meaningless words, like splice onto arcane.
Only splices onto arcane. Okay.
All arcane spells.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's no interaction with anything outside of Magic.
It's basically just for itself.
Yes, in complete isolation.
Okay.
And the spells, like, they made some of the spells cost more because it's like, oh, this bonus, because it's an arcane spell. It's like, oh, no, you just made a crappy spell, and no one ever gets to play it outside of, like, once this rotates out of standard, no one's ever going to see it again. Anyway, moving on. We're still just through part 1. Every creature that's a rare in this block is a legend. 100% of them. Are you kidding me? And people are going to compare, because a lot of people suggested to me, Dominaria is just Kamigawa 2. No, it's not. It's not Kamigawa 2. Just because there's legendary creatures as a theme, they did it entirely differently. They didn't just staple the word legend on every single creature at rare.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, this is one we'll come back to. So, yeah, Dominaria, not like Kamigawa, because it doesn't have all of these other very crappy things. In fact, Dominaria is actually the complete opposite, because all of its mechanics can be used and encourage you to use them outside of Dominaria with all cards from the history of Magic.
Sure.
Rather than just cards of this block.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. Like, Historic is a good mechanic, and Arcane...
It's like, yeah, it's like literally the opposite. Historic is the opposite of Arcane.
Yeah, and Arcane is pretty inbred, but I mean,
yeah, and it's and there's like all sorts of different tribes, and they encourage you to play with other cards that are outside of Dominaria specifically. Yeah. Okay, the last thing is flip cards. They fixed this later, but man, those first flip cards are awful. They look terrible. They're extremely confusing.
Yeah,
and they're incredibly unintuitive with how they work.
Well, at least we got the sweet flip cards later.
They fixed it, but either way, in isolation, again,
it's weird.
Something
agree.
Only for Kamigawa block, and it sucked. Terrible.
I mean, luckily,
that's just number 1.
Well, luckily they did it here. Luckily they made the flip card mistake here, and then corrected it later for the Innistrad and Flipwalkers and artifacts. Because now actually flipping the card is sweet.
Yeah, I mean Ixalan. It's even an Ixalan
yeah,
block.
yeah,
Yeah.
So better to get it wrong early and fix it later than I guess
Yeah,
get it wrong.
put it in the bad block.
So there's that.
Okay, so that's number one thing. All the mechanics, and there are other mechanics that are smaller mechanics, but these are mechanics, the ones that are the entire block, like literally in every single set, the
Sure.
entirety of the block. Okay. Number two, the story for this set is not at all engaging, and they like shoehorned it in to fit with like the rest of Magic.
What do you mean? What do you mean by made it fit the rest of Magic?
You can literally go back from now, and you can go backwards, and you can like piece together like, oh, this story from this set, here's how it impacted like the larger story of like Magic, like the world of Magic, like the multiverse, right?
Oh, sure.
And then Kamigawa was just like, whoa, just threw it in there. And they've kind of worked like Tamio from being from Kamigawa, and that's literally the most exciting thing that has happened regarding that plane. I understand that like Tetsu Umezawa.
Yeah, Balls has some interaction with Tetsu.
Yeah, but sure. But it's like in like an old story. Like it doesn't even take place on like during the block of this.
Right. I mean, but Myoji, yeah, sure. But
so nothing exciting happens in the entirety of the block.
No, actually, I kind of like the story. Like, I mean, the whole trip back here was a little complex. Like Myoji and Knight's Reach. Plus,
yes, it's incredible. It's incredibly convoluted and confusing, and it's not. It's like it literally they stripped away everything that you knew about Magic, any character at all, and it's just like blam. Here's some other stuff that looks like it's based off of Japanese culture, and it's not really, but we're kind of going to make it seem like it for people ignorant enough to assume that it is.
I mean, I like. Okay, I like the whole thing about, it's humans and the spirits, the humans basically worship the spirits, and if they do, the spirits are kind to them and can do stuff, blah blah blah, and then God, the owner of Usamaru, Hound of Kanda, basically he takes that which is taken.
Do you know who the owner is?
Is that Honda?
It's Kanda. It's in Isamaru's name.
Isamaru, Hound of Kanda.
You even said it.
I did it. Yeah, yes. Kanda. Yeah. All right, Kanda. I said Honda. All right, so Kanda. Yes. So Kanda. Yeah. So it takes like a spirit.
Not doing yourself any favors here, by the way.
I mean, to be fair, all these stories back at this time were pretty like difficult to really understand because they weren't well told.
Give me a block within 5 years of this block, and I'll sum up the story for you.
Oh, sure.
And you know that I can, and you can too.
I mean, I can tell you what happened in this block too. And I didn't even play during this block. Like, I didn't even play. Like, I barely played. I stopped playing because.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to what I did too, and we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
That's
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, honestly, I like the concept. I like the idea behind Kamigawa. I understand it may have been like, not like pushed wrongly or made wrongly. Like, you have this idea, and then you construct it and it's wrong, but the idea itself was really good.
Yeah.
This is what happened.
Yes. But so here's the issue with that. What they were trying to do, they did right earlier. When they made Portal 3 Kingdoms, from a flavor perspective, it is a superior set to Kamigawa. And obviously, Portal 3 Kingdoms, for those of you that don't know, is a supplemental set that came out in like 1999. It was primarily released for Asian markets. And it told the story of the three kingdoms in China, which is like a true story, and that's like Chinese folklore. Like, it's not something that Wizards came up with, right? And that set, every art was from a Chinese artist. Like 100% of the arts were Chinese artists.
Yeah,
the art's beautiful. It's actually one of if not the best art sets in all of Magic, in my opinion. All of the flavor text from Portal 3 Kingdoms is from like the Book of Three Kingdoms, which is again like collects these stories from Chinese folklore and tells the stories. this is how they could have done this set. Like they did this set. They did what they were trying to do from a flavor perspective in P3K, and then they're like, oh, we have this roadmap. Well, let's not do that, and let's do something else. And we're going to completely divorce it from all of Magic, and then we have to like fit it back in by loosely attaching some of these characters and stories, even though they don't really make sense.
So you hate this story because it was basically standalone?
No, that's not the only reason. I also it's incredibly complex for no reason, and it's complex and not exciting at the same time.
I don't think it was that complex though. Like, Karn just took something from the spirits, took a spirit and a way to live immortally, and the spirits got mad, and they can't like communicate with humans. So the way they retaliated was to attack the humans.
There's like 1,000 characters in the story because surprise, every rare creature is a legendary.
Yeah,
every single one. So it's like they have to like make all of this make sense, and they just threw them in there for no reason.
I don't know. I kind of liked the lore. I kind of liked even the flavor text on some cards. I remember reading them. Like, because like the cards themselves, I feel like in this set told more of a story than almost any other card. Like, even if you didn't know the lore, reading the cards themselves, like from the legendaries, basically told you the story. Like, I remember the first time I read like a Zombie Lady of Scrolls. It says like, choices belong to those with the luxuries of time and distance. We have neither. I recommend we proceed with the plan to destroy all shrines of the Kami. And you learn, okay, so we don't know how to attack the spirits, so let's try to destroy all the shrines. Like, I learned so much more story from this set by reading the flavor text of cards than I have any other set in Magic, and that's the truth.
See, and that's not the same for me. Okay. I would definitely say that like Tempest Block tells you the most about story from flavor text. Well, up until that point,
I didn't read Tempest Block, but even like Isamaru is like the hound sniffed the air and let slip a low growl. General Takano looked down at the faithful Isamaru and calmed him with a touch.
Alert the men, the Kami are coming.
Yeah, it just tells you like there's a war. Like, it tells you
about
the war. I know
that one. Stephen Green tells me that one all the time.
The Kami are coming, but I mean, like, basically, like the cards have so much flavor and the legendary creatures. Legendary creatures have so much flavor built into them.
That's the same thing. The cards, legendary creatures, it's the same. They're virtually every single card's a legendary creature.
okay, but like, I mean, I like that. Like, I learned so much from just.
And see, I think that this did a worse job than other blocks. Like, all through the Weatherlight saga, like all of those flavor texts, I think did a significantly better job than this does.
Not flavor text. I mean, the story.
I think it does.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I'm just saying, I think, yes, I think the Weatherlight story was overall better, but for me personally, Kamigawa told its story best through its set than any other set I've actually read the flavor text through. For me. Yeah. Like, this legendary creatures just told so much about the story, what's going on. Like, I actually learned more from the creatures than actually reading the lore from Kamigawa. To be fair, reading Kamigawa lore is kind of hard, even now.
Because it's confusing.
But any set
convoluted.
Any set from this time is just hard, because they're books.
I don't. But see, like, I think all of the blocks around this, it's a lot easier to read and understand, and it makes more sense, and it matters. This doesn't matter.
Well, the thing is, it's hard because I read Mirrodin. I read Mirrodin's story, and like, so I can say, yeah, that makes more sense. But I did not read the Kamigawa's books, so I can't really say for certain. Like,
how does this block matter in the historical context of Magic?
I mean, just with Bolas and Umezawa for the most part.
How does it? Tell me how it matters. How does that matter?
Bolas went and killed like the bloodline, or one take revenge.
How does that matter? How does that matter for the context of the story? Like, every other block matters, except for Kamigawa. If you remove that, what does it change? It changes nothing. You know what it does? It removes the uncommon blue legendary creature from Dominaria, and that's it.
But it changes the lore too a little bit, right? Like, it changes the Myoji of Night's Rage too. Like, that was Myoji that could, actually, like, planeswalk without planeswalking.
And then what happened? What happened with that? Nothing.
No, Bolus, and you asked me for like lore, like Bolus and somebody else.
I'm just saying, but like you can, Ollie, you can tell me what like the results at the end of every other story of a block in Magic and how it affects like the overall story, and you know that it does, and this just doesn't. It just doesn't matter. Like you could Thanos this right out of existence, and it's just no one's gonna care, just from a story perspective. Like, because there's just not an effect. Tameo, you get rid of Tameo, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that you lose. Is Tameo.
I love Socks and Sandals, man. I love Tameo.
I like Tameo too. I like Tameo. That's the only good thing to come out of this block. Anyway, let's move.
Go.
Number 3. Wizards has done this a couple of times in Magic's history. This was the second, and in my opinion, the second most notable time. The first most notable time was Arcadian Mass block, but they specifically depowered this block because they wanted to pay for the sins of printing Mirrodin and previously from Arcadian Mass printing Urza Saga block. Because the blocks that came before it were so powerful, like, okay, we got to make these cards suck. And man, there's not a single block that has more bad cards
than
Kamigawa block, and that is undeniable. The cards are crap. There's a lot of good cards, like, don't get me wrong. And most of them are in Champions of Kamigawa. Saviors of Kamigawa is one of the worst sets of all time in history. The only set that's worse is, like, Prophecy, and that's because they changed the rules, which removed one of the mechanics from the game.
What happened to Prophecy? What rules did change?
Well, the Prophecy had a mechanic where you like it was about tapping lands.
Okay.
But they removed mana burn, so now you could just freely tap your lands.
Okay, got you.
And there's no punishment for it. Like previously, like you got bonuses, like if you had all your lands tapped, or you had bad things happen to you if your lands weren't tapped.
Gotcha.
And now it just doesn't matter. You can just tap them.
Yeah, no, there's no mana burn.
There's no mana burn, so it literally doesn't matter. Now that's not Prophecy's fault. Prophecy's was already not a good set. That probably pushed it all the way down. But like, Saviors is battling with like Fallen Empires and Homelands for like along with Prophecy for like one of the worst set. It's terrible. Name three cards from Prophecy, or not from Prophecy, from Saviors.
I don't know from Prophecy or Saviors. Again, this time I didn't play much because not because of Kamigawa. I didn't play as much because of the set that destroyed Magic for me.
Mirrodin block.
Yeah,
it did for me too. But here's the thing though, I was like, they made this unfun, but maybe they can redeem it. And instead of making something that's engaging and fun, they were like, no, most of these cards are going to be terrible. If you opened a booster pack of Champions of Kamigawa, actually, Champions wasn't what made me quit. Betrayers made me quit. Because you open a booster pack, there's a 95% chance all of the cards you open are going to be terrible. Awful, awful cards. And if you're trying to get a Magic player to play forever, if I open something and it's a 4/4 for 7 legendary creature that barely does anything else, and my uncommon is says splice onto Arcane, and I look at the rest of my Magic cards and I'm like, well, these don't do anything with every other card I own.
Oh.
I have a choice. I can not play with these cards, or I can buy more of this terrible product so I can only play in isolation.
Live and learn, I guess, but I do feel like Kamigawa suffered from the hands of the set before it, which was Mirrodin. Like
it did. I totally agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, and I think it's kind of fair. Like I would love to go back to Kamigawa now with what Wizards knows now and fix it, and like or just
why?
Because I like the idea of going back to a world where there's Moonfolk and it's like Japan lore based or Japanese lore based. Like I would love to see that and be immersed in that. Like I think that's a cool concept. Just like Portal 13 is like I think they can go back and do it right. Like I'm not disagreeing with you that Kamigawa was like it was a bad time. It was not a good set, and it was
literally the worst time.
Yeah, it was followed by after Mirrodin, which sucked.
It was after
a terrible
one of the most damaging sets in Magic for players, and then preceded by arguably one of the greatest sets in all of Magic.
I mean,
but that's the thing, and that's why it also pisses me off even more, because I stopped playing when Betrays came out, and I didn't come back until Future Sight, and I missed all of Ravnica block, and that's because of Kamigawa block. That's not because of Mirrodin block.
It is Mirrodin. It is Mirrodin, man. It is Mirrodin.
No, but they didn't have to do that. Kaladesh is an incredibly powerful set, on the same level as some of these other like Mirrodin type sets, Mirrodin type Urza Saga for its time.
Yeah, it is. Kaladesh definitely probably.
Yeah, like historically, historically, this is an incredibly powerful block, but yet, Amonkhet block did just fine.
Yeah, I mean Amonkhet.
I don't think we can blame it.
No, we can't. But Amonkhet is also getting a ton of backlash and damage because of Kaladesh. Like now, Kaladesh, like I can't wait for Kaladesh to rotate, but now Kaladesh rotates, it takes Amonkhet with it, and that sucks. Like,
but that didn't make it bad.
No, but
like they didn't make Amonkhet bad like they did for Kamigawa block because Mirrodin block was too powerful. Better dial it back so everything sucks.
No, I agree with you, but I believe the set that comes after the set that's damaging is always gonna get hits in some sort of way. Always gonna get hit, and I think Kamigawa took even more of a hit because yes, it did. They were scared. They dialed back the power level, but also took a big hit because it came after a set that was bad for Standard and bad for Magic players.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but like,
yeah, that just sucks. Like that sucks. And like,
I'll put it this way. I'm just saying, as me as a person, Mirrodin block did not make me stop playing Magic.
Yeah.
Kamigawa block made me stop playing Magic.
Yeah. For me,
I understand that the reason is because of Mirrodin, but that's not what happened.
No, for me, I'm saying for me, what do you mean that's what happened? For me, that's what happened. I stopped playing Magic because of Mirrodin. I missed Ravnica too. I came at the a tail end for like 1 month of Ravnica. I saw some cool cards, but I didn't come back until Lorwyn.
So if Kamigawa was awesome, that wouldn't have happened.
No, because Ravnica was awesome. I skipped the entire Ravnica. Future Sight was awesome. I skipped the entirety of Future Sight. I came back as Lorwyn, and that was because of Mirrodin, not because of Kamigawa. It was because of Mirrodin. Mirrodin just. I was playing main deck Oxidize, main deck Viridian Shaman.
Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah,
I decided to fight the Affinity Menace instead of Join Up, which was main deck, arguably the greatest mistake in competitive Magic history.
Main deck Vindicate, Oxidize literally Vindicate for 1 mana, instant speed, and it still wasn't good enough. I was still losing, and that made me quit. And I came back at Lorwyn, and Lorwyn was a great time to come back to for me.
Yeah.
But personally, I would love to eventually go back or see the Kamigawa plane and it be redone. Like not the same plane what we saw back like with all this damage, but to see it for what it truly is capable of being. Because I think we both agreed the idea behind it was good, but the execution was terrible.
I don't think that the idea behind it was good. I don't want to waste my time.
I think it was.
I would rather go back. I would rather go back to Ravnica. I would rather go back to different parts of Dominaria. I would rather go back. I would rather go to like Chandelar.
No, I'd rather go. I want to go back to Kamigawa. I
definitely do not. You know what? Put it in a supplementary product. Put it in a commander product.
No, take us back, Wizards.
I don't. I literally, man, like it.
Take us back.
They would have to completely change it. Like they put so many eggs in all of these mechanical baskets.
They could. I believe in Wizards.
I think, yeah, me too. I think they're smart enough to not. They already have planes that people
want
like.
It, man. People want it. People want it.
No, I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
All right, we'll see.
It is literally the least. It's like the least popular block of all time. It's not just me. I might be the flag bearer for this.
Sure, but I've talked to people that want to go back to Kamigawa. Multiple people that want to go back to Kamigawa and see it again. Like there's people on the other side too.
I'm not saying it's no one.
I think it's what. Anyways,
I mean, in a vacuum, I'm not done yet. In a vacuum, if you say, "Do you want to go back to Kamigawa?" People are like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, that could be fun if they could fix it." But that's not how it works because it's always at the expense of something else. Like it's not. You don't just like add it on. It's like, do you want to go to Kamigawa or do you want to go to Dominaria? Ollie.
I mean, where are you at Dominaria?
Okay.
Say Ravnica. Like say something like.
I'll say I'm going to keep going. Would you rather go to Kamigawa or go back to Ravnica?
Ravnica.
Would you rather go to Kamigawa or go to New Phyrexia?
New Phyrexia.
Would you rather go to Kamigawa or would you rather go to Innistrad?
Innistrad.
Okay, do you see where I'm going?
Yeah, but those are all epic. There's Emrakul, there's Phyrexians, there's Bolas and Ravnica. Like, these are all, like, huge story pieces.
Would you? Yeah, every other plane except for Kamigawa.
Okay,
That's also my
okay.
point.
But if you ask me, would you rather go to Kamigawa or Lorwyn or Shadowmoor? I'll take Kamigawa because I'm more interested in that. Like if they go Alara or Kamigawa.
Alara.
I'd go to Kamigawa, but like
you don't want to. So you're not interested in seeing what Alara looks like when it's just one Alara.
I am interested.
You'd rather go back to Kamigawa.
I am interested, but I'm more interested in Kamigawa. Like, but when you compare Kamigawa to the big centerpieces like Emrakul and the Phyrexians and Nicol Bolas, of course I'm gonna pick those. Those are the big bad. Those are the three big bad that are amazing to go back and look at.
Would you rather go to Kamigawa or Zendikar?
Kamigawa.
I think you're lying.
I'm not lying. Actually, that one's tough because I would like to go back to Zendikar to see what Nissa has done or what's going on after the damage. But
and Nahiri's there too.
But that was actually tough.
And
I won't lie.
You literally like playing lands.
I do like playing lands, but they're all damaged now. The land is damaged, but I do like that. But we know there's no more draws or anything there. Like maybe like actually we don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a little skittering.
Yeah. So still Kamigawa.
I want to go back to Kamigawa. I do want to go back. A part of me really does want to go back to Kamigawa. I want to see them redo it and do it correctly. Like, I think the whole worshipping the spirits and deities type thing is awesome. And if you do, they, like, favor you in some way.
Yeah, it sounds like Prosh. They just did that in Magic Story last week. The kobolds.
I mean, I feel like they've taken Kamigawa, parts of it, and made it so much better. Like Theros block, the whole worshipping the gods, and you get...
Would you rather go back to Theros or Kamigawa?
Hold on a second. Let me finish my thought. Like, the whole...
Answer the question.
The whole bestow mechanic feels more Kamigawa than anything else. The whole legendary theme from Dominaria seems like it's Kamigawa. Like they've taken pieces of Kamigawa and put it like and did it better in other places. I think they can go back and fix it and do it. Like the whole worship.
They took legendary, actually made it a good theme, put it in Dominaria. They took flip cards, corrected them, put them in Innistrad.
Yeah, and then they took the worshipping of gods like the spirit
they took
of the Kami,
Arcane and threw it in the trash can.
Legendary sorcery.
That is not nearly the same thing.
Not nearly, but it's like
six of those.
Yeah, but where is Epic from? Is Epic from Kamigawa block?
Yes. Okay. Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. What other stupid mechanic do you want to name? It's probably from Kamigawa.
No, but Epic is cool too. Though Epic is like Epic for me is like a.
Epic is tricking you based on the name.
But it's so unique and so like powerful. It's like one of the most unique spells. It's on the same level as like Mindslaver and cards that are like, whoa, this is like. Let me read that again. How does that work exactly? It's like the same level as like Mindslaver and Platinum Angel. It's like, hold on a second.
Wait, just to clarify.
Yeah, both are from the set. Both
from Mirrodin.
I mean, Mirrodin is one of the has the most.
It's one of the most iconic sets of all
absolutely.
time.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
without a doubt. There's absolutely no question about that.
That's my number one vote. Like, yes, some of the most has the most cards are like, oh wow, let me read that again.
It was very damaging to Magic, but now that it has recovered from that, I think we can look back and say Mirrodin was great. Kamigawa was crap.
God.
And no one wants to go back.
That's not
Are you
true.
going to go back to Kamigawa or Theros?
Kamigawa. I don't care about Elspeth.
You don't care about Elspeth. You don't want to see what's going on. You don't care about Ashiok. No, just don't care at all.
I care about Ashiok. But I care about Tamia more than Ashiok.
And you'd rather go back to Kamigawa to find out what's going on with Ashiok.
Because
I know that is not true. We've had this conversation
I would rather know about Tamia than Ashiok. Right now, Tamia is more important to me. Especially what happened to her after she got mind-slavered by Emrakul. She literally got mind-slavered by Emrakul.
Where did that happen?
On Innistrad. Yeah, but Tamia is part of Kamigawa. Anyways, we can agree and disagree here.
All right, I think we spent enough time on this. You're right.
All right.
Okay.
But last say.
Yeah, go ahead. You can have last word.
Not last word. I just want to say, like, I do agree with parts of what you said. You're right. You're right about the arcane thing. You are right about the legendary thing. All raids being legends, and the story being a bit whack. But I do think they did an excellent job by telling the story through legendary creatures. And I think the icon for me, I believe the concept was like it was both. The concept was like good. Like you could have made this excellent, but it just messed up. And then following Meriden just also was another knock to it. So I don't know. Like we've seen all these cards transition really well. Like the flip, like I said earlier, the flip cards, the worshiping of the gods, bestowing.
They definitely took things from Kamigawa that they failed on at epic levels
and made them really lovable.
Pun intended. And then fixed them.
Yeah, so I think Wizards learns from their mistakes.
Oh, they definitely did. And they should learn from this mistake and never go back.
Go back. People want it. All right.
Bonus, obviously, this isn't our question of the week.
It probably should be.
No, I do not think it should be.
Okay.
I do not think it should be.
Why? Because I'll win?
But, okay, fine. Bonus question of the week. I'm going to post 2 this week.
Okay. Yeah, do it.
No, but see, I'm not, because here's, like, it's not, again, if I just posted this, people are going to be like, yeah, I want to go back, but then it's like, oh, you want to go back over these other things that you would rather do? It's like, well, no, not over the other things, but just in addition to. And that's like, I can't phrase the question of the week like that.
Okay.
So it's not going to happen. You tell us, based on this conversation, tell us, at Ollie Eldrazi on Twitter, at JParnell1 on Twitter, tell us what you think about Kamigawa. You already know what I think. You know what Ollie thinks.
This was asked, though. Someone asked, like, not Aaron Forsyth, one of the people asked if you want to go back to Kamigawa, they had a poll, and more people said yes than no.
That is... All right. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to link Ollie an article, have him read it, and he's going to come back and apologize for his misinformation. We'll be back in just a moment. This is normally the part where you and I joke about Turn Dominaria Episode 9. So instead, as we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, we're just going to change the title. You still down with that?
I'm down with that. This time it's your turn to give us a name for the story.
It's my turn? Okay.
Yep.
Based on the events of the story, I'm going to rename this one Magic the Bickering.
I agree with this. Because this is how I'm going to retell a story.
Okay, all right. So, Ollie, why don't you... Well, first, did you read the link that I sent you, even though I know that you did,
I did
regarding Mark Rosewater's statement on Return to Kamigawa? And your opinions now are?
I still disagree with you. Okay.
Tell us the story. Just tell us the story. Tell us what happened.
All right, Justin nailed this title because here's what happens.
All right.
After Chandra discovers that Mother Ludi is Jaya, she keeps asking her over and over. Here's what it says. Chandra, teach me Jaya. Jaya, no. Chandra, please. Jaya, no. Chandra, please. Jaya, no. Chandra, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. Chandra, or Jaya, okay. I'll teach you. Next one. Blue smoke appears. Jace walks into the weatherlight. Yo, I've been gone a long time. Let's beat Bolus. Gideon. Nah. Bell's unlocked, bruh. Jace. Well, I'm gonna meet with Ajani because he's smart. He knows what's going on. Gideon. Peace. Jace. All right, I guess you guys aren't going to ask where I've been. All right, go meet with Johnny. Bye. That's what happens.
Okay, I like this so far.
All right. This one's Karn's. Karn, I need the disc. Boltani, no. Oh. See me conscious? No.
Okay.
Karn, I got the disc. Multani, finally awake because of Chandra. I be awake! That's it. All right.
Okay. What else?
Next one.
Okay.
Jorya is talking to Teferi. Teferi. Here, take your spark. Teferi's like, Ujora, I wish I be a walker. Teferi, okay, give it to me. All right, he takes it.
Usually only works on like kids under 12.
Exactly. That's what's so funny. It was basically like, it reminded me of my kids where Aiden's like doesn't want something, and then Lily wants it, which is his sister. He's like, okay, no, I want it. Now
Now that you want it.
I want it.
Well, I guess I want it.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Lily is talking to Gideon. Take the blade. Take the soul drinker. Nah. Gideon, nah. It'd be thirsty. Liliana, take it. Gideon. All right. Okay, I'll take it. I mean, that's what happened.
I think we should turn that into musical theater.
So, yeah, that's basically what happened. Just a lot of back and forth talk, a lot of planeswalkers meeting each other.
Yeah.
I find it crazy that Jace made this crazy calculation, walked onto the weatherlight. No one even asks where he was, but Jace doesn't even explain. He's like, guys, we have got to beat Bolas. We got to go now. And Gideon is like, nah.
Hold your horses, friend.
Yeah, Belzenlock. Also Liliana. Jace is like, you can't trust her.
Yeah, he is.
And if he says that,
he's going real hard.
He went ham. He went
real hard on Lily.
Yes, but if if Jace is going that hard on Liliana, you need to sit down for a second and think okay,
man, something's definitely wrong with Jace.
No, something's definitely wrong with Liliana.
Nah, I think something's wrong with Jace.
Oh my god, no, because he used to be the puppy dog, following Liliana, her lap dog, and loved her and blah blah blah, and now he's can't trust her. She doesn't care about anybody but herself, and because he's the one that saw her planeswalk away because of a Bolas. Gideon did not see her planeswalk away because of a Bolas battle. He doesn't know what happened with Liliana exactly. Right?
Yeah, technically true.
Right. So Gideon doesn't know that, and Jace is just hurt because of that. He's just
that's actually not true. Nissa saw it.
Yeah. Well, yes. Nissa saw it. Yeah, and he saw what Nissa did. She was like, "Okay, Liliana, you are a lying sack of poop. I'm out of here." Broken bond. Walks out. Okay. Shawnner didn't see it. Gideon didn't see it. Jace saw it, and he's like, "You can't trust her. You cannot trust her. I need to defeat Bolas. I don't believe she wants to be Bolas because they saw the way she reacted to Bolas. She was like, yeah, Bolas, you're right. You're big and mean and scary. I'm not going to fight you." Nissa and Jace saw that.
She had other plans. She needed to go defeat her last demon. That's what she wants to do. She wants to do that so she can be free of the Chain Veil and then beat Bolas.
I don't know about that. Because
we're not going to go. I don't want to start in on Liliana. Okay. I want to talk about Jace.
Jace? Okay,
well, sure. Actually, so the first thing I want to do is, remember last week I was like, they have so much ground to cover. They have to do this, and this. They literally did all of it in this story.
And I
everything that I said except for kill Belzenlock.
Well, I explained it very quickly. That's what happened.
Yeah. You feel so the last stories, you feel in general, the storytelling for the Return of Dominaria stories of Drug, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Not this one.
No,
this one was
bam, bam, bam.
I feel like they were so Martha Wells is the author, and through 8 stories, Martha's she spent a whole story. She's like, Tiana is an angel that's a mechanic. She's sad, but she's not as sad when she's happy. And I'm going to write 12 more paragraphs about this. And then the creative director for Magic's like, Martha, we're going to need to talk a second. So there's only 12 stories. You've essentially squandered 2 of them, getting nowhere. And we only have 4 stories left, so you're going to really have to jam some stuff in there.
Then she just tells the Sandstorm story with Teferi.
Well, that was and she was like, "Is this your last work?" She was like, "No, I was just describing her overalls a little bit more, but I just finished this story about Teferi fighting a sandstorm." You're like, okay,
we need to put
we've made a mistake.
we need to gas. We need to pump the gas. Pump the gas. No, not the brakes. The gas.
Yep. So they covered a lot of ground. Covered a lot of ground in this story.
Yeah, it's a lot of build. The thing is, like, usually these stories, there's like a lot of build up, 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 and then you're like, when the action happens, you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Then
this
the
is
levee
like
breaks.
awesome.
Yeah.
But this is not. I mean, it's happening now. It's happening quickly, but it seems like rushed instead of like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
Isn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
Very unsatisfying. Like you can't tell me a story about Teferi fighting a sandstorm, a whole story, and then you put 14 plot points in one story. You can't do that. Like that's not how pacing works in storytelling.
It was so quick because like
I'm not mad that it'll happen. Like I'm glad we're through this part. But
no, but I'm saying like I was looking forward like the part where Rivals Vixen ends is when Jace walks onto the weather light, right?
Yes. So that was like a big thing because we all know it's coming, right? That's the thing we know is coming, not from the cards, but from a story that we've read previously.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it, and it literally ends in like 3 seconds. He's like, guys, he literally walks in, he's like, hey, let's get Bolus. And he's like, no, bells unlock. And, and then he berates Liliana. He's like, all right, let's beat Bolus. And he's like, no, bells unlock. He's like, okay, peace. That's it. That is it.
I'm getting out.
Yeah.
I'm in and I'm out.
That's it.
Did Jace now stop me?
No one asked what happened to him. No one.
You know why? Because he's a jerk.
Oh my god.
He's still a jerk. He sounded like a jerk in this story. Did he not?
I mean, Jace was a jerk because of what he did to poor Azor. Okay, like that's where I.
No, Jace has been a jerk forever.
I'm telling you, what happened with Azor and Jace.
He was not a jerk for like 4 stories in Ixalan, and then he's back to being a jerk.
What he did to Azor was
real messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was like, okay, you're a jerk.
That's who Jace is, Ollie. That's who Jace is.
I don't know about that. We'll see. I'm gonna give him a little more benefit of the doubt.
Oh, God. Haven't we given Jace enough time? Like, what else does he have to do?
I mean,
for you to be like Jace is a jerk.
I want to see what happens with Bolus.
Okay. I'm not saying he's a bad person. Like he obviously means well, but
he comes off as
you know who else meant well that was a really big jerk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Urza.
Oh no. So, I was gonna say Justin Parnell.
Well, yeah.
I'm kidding, dude. I'm just saying like
you could definitely convince people that if they listen to the last segment.
Justin means well, but sometimes he can be a little jerk.
That's fine. That's fine. Look. Like, are we okay with Karn just having this Galathian Silex? Like this dude just carrying around. He's like,
he does.
They're like, where's the Silex? He's just like, I got this bag here.
I got it.
He literally holds up a bag.
I got the plate.
This thing was like the form of the greatest destruction in like the multiverse, and he's literally just carrying this thing around in a sack.
Yep.
Oh, what is happening?
The best part about the story was seeing the art for Nature Spiral and learning that
was dope.
Yeah, learning that's where Urza detonated the Silex.
Yeah. Well,
and now it's finally healing.
But you know what Nature Spiral is, right? If you don't know, I'm gonna blow your mind.
What?
It's strip mine from Antiquities.
Oh my god, it's all coming back to full circle. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. See.
So he blew it up. Yeah, that's sweet. That's awesome. Like that's sweet. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's great.
It's full circle. Great. Yeah.
It is. Unlike Kamigawa. Anyway,
leave it. It's gone.
I didn't bring it back up. You brought it back up. Okay. With video proof. Don't open your mouth like that. Karn is just holding this thing in a bag, and he's like, "I'm gonna take this back to New Phyrexia. I'm probably gonna just like drop it out of a plane or something, and then get out of there. Just let it blow up."
Well, I'm scared though. I'm scared when he planes walks back. Like, what if they're waiting?
You should be terrified.
What if they're waiting?
They will be. Of course they will be.
And now
they said that. They're like, so he's got to go back, but when he went back last time, it was real bad. And Jai is like,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, same with Jace.
It's a bad plan.
Same with Jace. Bolus is like, Jace's like, hey, Bolus is making this thing to stop all planeswalkers. All planeswalkers. He's doing something to trap and imprison all planeswalkers. They're just like, let's go to him. They're like, isn't that what he wants?
Yeah, so he's gonna trap you. It's like Jake's like, yes, listen to me.
Is that? And then they're like, is Dry's like, is that such a good idea?
Yes, of course it is.
I'm going.
I'm Jace.
But still, like they're both thinking that way. It's just like mind-boggling to me. It's like, what are you doing?
It's stupid. Jai is the only only person that has full sense.
Well, at least Gideon was like, hey, last time we rushed into it, Jace, remember that? We went head on because of me, because that was my idea. We have 5 planeswalkers versus 1, and we got utterly destroyed. Let's not do that again. Let's not do that again.
We got completely demolished.
Yeah, not even close. Okay, nothing happened. And like, you have to go with the plan. Like, what are you thinking? Anyways, but at least the thing is, like, at least Jace knows. You know what? I trust Ajani. That's what I trust.
Now, to be fair, Johnny's got some sense.
He does.
So
absolutely,
it's smart for Jace to trust Johnny. I'll give him that.
Yes, that's the best thing.
Jace isn't stupid. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, but Johnny is the smartest planeswalker we've seen in a minute.
Yeah, for sure, one of the smartest ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 parts I really liked. I really liked Chandra doing the like common Multani down. You know what that reminded me of? I know Chandra got that from Nissa.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of in like the Avengers movies when Black Widow takes Hulk's hands, like, sun's getting real low.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Sun's getting real low.
Yeah. Do you remind me of Moana? Moana, where she's talking to the volcano or the lava chick, which is actually
the Disney movie.
Yeah, where she's like the lava person. She's like coming. She's like, I know who you are. Like, she goes up and like puts the stone in the lava person and becomes the. See, like I always like kid movies and shows because I have kids, but that's reminded me of. Like I've seen that movie like probably 20 times.
I think this was a great. Like I like this Chandra arc for the last 2 stories, a lot.
Yeah.
That was actually like I don't know all of Chandra's portions in the last 2 stories, specifically this one, like actually showed character development, which I think has been kind of rare in this narrative arc, which is like makes me really sad to say, but I think it has been, except for Chandra. So
yeah, Chandra.
I like that.
Yeah, she did that. Finally apologized instead of just be like, teach me.
And then she just showed her. She's like, look, I'm not just some idiot. Like I can think and not just throw fireballs.
Well, the best part was like she calmed.
And then Jai's like, all right.
Yeah, the best part was like she literally calmed Multani down by doing what Nissa taught her, and then went to Jai and was like, you know what? I'm sorry that I did not listen to you when you were with Ludi. I understand you want to teach me. I'm completely fine with that, but I really hope we can be friends because I like you. Yeah. And she left it at that. And then Jai's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll teach you.
And then, of course, I like the interaction between Gideon and Liliana about the Black Blade. Because Gideon's like, no, that is really dangerous.
It's a soul
drinker.
Really
cool. It's really cool. I really like thinking about it. I like the idea of it, but I don't want to do it.
He keeps saying it's a soul drinker. It's a soul drinker. It's a soul drinker.
And Liliana's like, yeah,
take it.
Yeah,
take it.
It's the weapon you need.
Yeah,
you know you're gonna like it. So I can't wait for that part.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, I want to see what does to his brain or his mind or what happens to Gideon when he takes hold of the Black Blade.
It'd be really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
It's oh man, I just had another part that I was going to talk about and it just like escaped me. The thing I was going to say earlier about Chandra is I like when she's like thinking about, like when Chandra and Jai are talking and Jai is kind of telling the story of like why she was like hiding his mother looting. She's like, I didn't really want to. She was like, I went to Regatha, got drunk, did some fireworks, and I thought I was a god. And then I left. Like I wasn't even thinking about it, and then come back and they've like created this religion around me.
Yeah.
She's like, oh crap. All right, well, I better make sure that this is like if they're gonna like worship me in my image, I better make sure it's correct.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. Jai is clearly a character that has been around the block and is like suffers no fools at all.
No. She's good. Yeah. I'm still. I want to see what Karn's gonna do.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I wonder if he's like playing to like actually.
Super concerned though.
I'm concerned because like I wonder if he's gonna kill himself. Like, is he planning to like blow it up and like, blow it up? Like, I'm gonna die after I charge this thing. I can't planes walk away. I'm just gonna blow it up and blow everything up. We'll see. I'm also scared. Like, if he goes back, like, what if the Phyrexians get this Silex and they trap him again or kill him?
A lot of things. Basically, a lot of different things can go wrong.
Yeah.
It's like take your pick of what could go wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and Chandra says she doesn't want to follow Jace because she wants to become stronger and learn from Mother Ludi, aka Jaya. And I think that's smart.
Yeah, she also doesn't like Jace.
Yeah, fair.
Which we covered last week. In my opinion, I don't think Chandra likes Jace.
I don't know about like, but like indifferent.
I don't think she likes him. I think she's like, you're on my team, so like we're fighting for the same goal, but I don't want to like go with you. Like, I don't want to just be us. Like, that would be weird.
Maybe like indifferent with slight dislike.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely indifferent. She's just in dislike. She's just like, yeah. Never thinks of him. Yeah.
So,
God, I can't believe no one asked where he's been. He's been gone for so long. No one even cares.
That's because he came back and immediately was a jerk to everybody.
But his mind was being crushed. His mind was being crushed, and no one is like, yeah, what happened to you?
That's because they didn't know, and they're just like, oh, look, there's Jace. He's being a jerk to everyone. He must be fine.
I thought someone said, I don't know.
They talk about his clothes. They're like, why are your clothes all ripped up? And he's like, we don't have time for that. Listen, we got to fight Bolus.
Is that what it sounds like?
No, we have this other plan. No! This is the plan. That's what Jace sounds like.
No, I've heard Jace. He sounds cooler than that.
I don't think he does.
I've heard him on MPG Arena.
Oh yeah, because you've played his terrible Cunning Castaway card.
I have. That card is pretty bad, but his voice is pretty good.
What does he play? He's like, look out for the high seas.
Oh my God! Stop. No. Oh man.
What's the new Jace voice for the podcast whenever we do Jace story?
Just a whiny kid.
Watch out, everyone! I got a plan.
Oh God.
All
right.
Oh, anything else on this story before we move on?
No, that is all I have for Magic the Gathering. Story number 9, the bickering. Magic the bickering.
There you go, you got it. Okay. We're going to throw up a spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about, finally talking about Jessica Jones Season 2. I'm glad we waited until after Infinity War because I got some questions that we won't have answers to, but I would like to discuss them. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little Jessica Jones Season 2. So we're going to try to do non-spoilers first, and then we'll talk spoilers. We'll do non-spoilers for a few minutes, and we'll get into spoilers, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what do you think? Well, without giving anything away, what did you think of Season 2 of Jessica Jones? I assume you watched Season 1.
Yes, I have.
Previously. Okay.
Overall, I thought it was worse than Season 1.
Sure.
I think it's worth watching just for the whole universe deal, but like I personally didn't really like. I enjoyed like half the episodes.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Some of them were just like, others were like, okay, I like it, but how the story develops or goes on for me is just like it doesn't really appeal to what I enjoy. I guess it's hard to like hit on things without spoiling anything.
I think you can. I think you can try. I think you can talk
trying.
About something without spoiling it for someone.
Right. Well, that's what I just tried to do.
Okay. For those of you that watched Jessica Jones Season 1, me personally, that is of all of the Marvel Netflix series, Jessica Jones Season 1 is my favorite.
It's really good.
It's my favorite of the Marvel Netflix series. Now, I think you have the strongest actor in season 1 of Jessica Jones, which is David Tennant playing Kilgrave. He's absent from season 2. He's not a character really. So you don't have that strong opposition to Jessica. And there is a character that kind of takes that place as far as filling up screen time, but to say that it is a step down from Kilgrave would be a insanely massive understatement.
Yeah, the dynamic between Kilgrave and Jessica in season 1 was
perfect.
You felt it. It was powerful dynamic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Watching this made me want to go back and watch season 1 because it's so good, and it's really difficult for me to make the separation because it's man, this was truly great. I think Jessica Jones season 1 is truly great, and I think it's really hard for this one to measure up because of that. And like Ollie said, it seemed uneven to me between episodes. I think it's worth watching.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. I think it was uneven, worth watching, but not nearly as good this season 1.
Worth watching, not nearly as good. I think it's probably about average if you like watching the Marvel Netflix series. So it's worth your time.
Yeah.
13 episodes is really long. I was really hoping they were going to go start cutting it back because The Defenders was only 8 episodes.
I thought it was going to be 12, yeah. Because I watched episode 12 and I was like, oh, wait.
The first one was 13. All the rest of the solo, both Daredevil seasons, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, the original Jessica Jones season 1, they were all 13 episodes, but that's just too long. They really just need to cut it back to 10, and I think 8 to 10, and I think we'll be good. Then you don't have to deal with these BS arcs and stuff that happens in all of the different seasons for this show.
Sure.
But worth your time. Worth your time. You've already paid your money if you have Netflix. I wouldn't get Netflix for the show. It's you already have it or you don't.
Yeah. I think everyone has Netflix.
I think almost everybody has Netflix.
Yeah.
So okay, Ollie, you ready to go into spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, that was the spoiler warning.
All right, we're in.
All right, we're in. You go ahead. You said you couldn't talk about it without spoilers. You can talk about it now.
Oh my god, this just the bad character being the mom was just
yeah.
It wasn't a bad character. It was such a pull. The worst characters. Holy crap. Okay, so every character was
let's list
awful.
them all.
They were all awful except one. Everybody else was terrible character and just had bad morals. It was
I agree with you, but I think we're gonna say a different character.
I think all of them are bad. No,
I think
all of them except Malcolm. I loved Malcolm. Malcolm was so good that Malcolm was very, very good this season, I think.
I think Malcolm is neutral. I think every other character is awful.
Yes.
And I could not root for any of them except for Jessica.
Right, but Malcolm was you saying he was neutral, but he was the most positive character.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, on a scale of wow, I really dislike this character.
Oh yeah.
To wow, I really like this character. Everyone else is really far down on the dislike scale except for Malcolm and Jessica, who I really liked.
Yeah.
I think Jessica's great.
Yeah. Yeah, she does kind of. She treats Malcolm like crap though. And that bothers me. I mean, she treats him better than she treats virtually everyone else except for her own mother. And that's not even true. She I would argue, actually, I think she treats Malcolm better than she treats everybody else. It doesn't mean she doesn't treat him like crap. He's doing a lot of things for her in the beginning and helping her out and all this stuff. And she's just a turd to him.
She literally gave him got him off of the streets and rehabilitated him from being a drug addict. And you don't see that in this season, but it's not that's Jessica's relationship with Malcolm is tough love. It's not she is obviously trying to provide for him. She made him an associate with her at Alias Investigations, which she would never do for anyone else.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I actually disagree.
No.
I think just because Jessica's really tough on Malcolm doesn't mean that she dislikes him or she treats him badly.
I mean, I think no, I don't think she dislikes him, but I think there's times where it's too much. She's like being too much. Like it's not. There's a point where tough love becomes like. Where there's a point where tough love almost becomes an excuse. And I think
Yeah, you're right. She's not perfect. I mean, honestly, that's my favorite thing about this show is you are seeing a lot of people that have real, true flaws, and people that are supposed to be good guys, and there's not a lot of. There might be good guys storytelling wise, but there's not a lot of good people
no,
around.
there's not. Trish was awful too.
Trish was
Terrible.
awful.
Terrible.
I was like not I was like she's whatever after the first season, and like she was I can't say she's my least favorite character because her mom will always be my least favorite character because her mom is the biggest monster
Oh my
in
god.
any of these Netflix shows.
She keeps going back and forth, back and forth.
She's a terrible human being.
Yeah, she is.
Awful, awful human being.
Yep, she is.
Anyway, unfortunately, a lot of that like rubbed off on Trish, and Trish is also a pretty terrible person
Yeah.
in this season of Jessica Jones, and like terrible to the point where it's pretty much unredeemable.
Okay, well, she becomes basically a drug addict. She knows Malcolm has had a history with
Yes.
drug addiction, and she literally offers him the inhaler, and he's like, "Is this,
Yeah,
this is a drug? Like, what is this? Is it safe?" And she promises like it's safe, it's all
Yeah.
healthy, blah 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 blah. She's just like
Yeah,
lying out her teeth.
something that a drug dealer would do to a drug addict.
Oh my god, she's like, yeah, lying through her teeth, and then he tries it, and immediately he knows. He's like, this feeling familiar, obviously, because I've done drugs before. And then on top of that, she not only does that, like basically enables Malcolm or destroys all his like stuff he's done to better himself. She's like Jessica multiple times asks her, "Yo, please stop. I don't want to investigate this. Back up, back up, back up. Hey, you're my friend. I know I'm trying to help, but I need you to just take a step back. Like, just drop this for now."
Yeah.
Instead,
no, she's not having it.
Instead, what she does, you know what? I'll just kill your mom instead.
I mean, I don't think
frick. Like,
I don't think that was exactly the thought process, but Trish
that's
was certainly
Like,
she was certain. Well, yeah, that's obviously what she did at the end. But like you said something she wanted to do in episode 1, and then said something she did in episode 13. So I think there's a little.
No, but I mean, but throughout, but there's also towards the end, like Jessica's obviously hiding something. Trish probably can tell or something. And just like drop it. Just
What does it matter? She just wants to keep pushing because she just wants what she wants. Yeah, no, Trish was terrible in this season. Like she was. Everyone's pretty awful. Like.
Dude, Jessica was destroyed in the carousel, whatever you call it, the big wheel thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh, now I can't think of it.
At the carnival where you sit down, the carousel, the carol wheel, anyways, that thing. She's like super distraught. Her mother's like they're dead.
Literally bleeding out in front of her.
Yeah, and she's like I've never seen Jessica like that. Even with Kilgrave, I've never seen Jessica like that. She was just rocking back and forth.
Yeah, of
actually
course.
Traumatized. Like,
so that brings me to my first question. Like, Jessica, not a great person in all instances.
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel, thank you. But family's obviously like a really big like a theme in this season.
Yeah.
And like, what are you like? Are you willing to do what Jessica did for her mother? Who is her mother also a terrible person?
Yeah.
Like I know they like, and her mom tried to like through what she was saying tried to blame it on, like what was done to me against my will, and it makes me really angry. It's like no, you're actually kind of a crappy person in general. Like before that, so don't blame it on that anyway.
No, I understand. At the same time, like man, the power for me, the power of like. When I connect someone like on that level of like family or whatever, it's so hard for me to do them wrong, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's why I felt like you should like appreciate Jessica's plight through this entire season.
I did. I 1,000% did. Of what she was doing with her mom and like going back and forth, like, and actually I agreed with her to a certain extent, but like It's tough. And the thing is, like, Jessica went further than I did because she didn't really know her mom, but what her mom was saying
Yeah.
to her was like, and I don't know, man, it was tough. It's tough. Like, I think what she did was right. As far as like, maybe. She killed her mother. Killed her mother. Literally killed a cop. Jumped out of the cop.
She killed a lot of people.
Yeah, but the one big one was like she used that one girl as a shield, and she was like, and then she jumped out the window when she being held at gunpoint,
splattered her on the pavement,
and left. And I was like, oh my god! And the way she justified it was like,
yeah, that was murder.
Yeah, it was her or me, or like just like, oh my god, like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Yeah, because she's like, it was her or me. They're going after you because you killed other people.
Yeah.
So your answer is kill more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She's also
a
terrible person.
Yeah. Also,
go ahead.
I gotta say, Jerry. I felt so bad for Jerry. She was like, obviously, she's like this very proud woman that, is out for herself. Like, she wants the best thing for herself. She wants to be number one. She wants to be the best.
How she's been her whole life. Yeah, she's looking out for number one.
Yeah. And then she gets this terminal illness, ALS. Yeah. And she's basically like going to die. And then she learns that someone can actually heal her. She believes she's healed, and she like turns a new leaf. She becomes like this amazing person. Like, wow, this is crazy. This is awesome. Like, I can't believe you're like.
She's basically like got a free, like a new lease on life. Yeah.
And she's like just so like. She becomes an amazing person, like a very good person, like the best person in the whole entire show. Then she learns that it was a con, that it's fake. And then she becomes even worse than who she was.
She goes back into the much darker place where she kind of was originally.
Worse, she manipulates Inez, which is Shane's girlfriend. She manipulates her to think that Shane is conning her too. Hands her a gun, and then Inez uses the gun to shoot Shane when they're arguing. Like, he had an argument, and it's just like, and then Jerry just sitting there like, yep. This is what I wanted. This is great. Then drives off. It's just like...
Yep. What? Not a good person.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Dr. Carl, also not a good person. He thinks that he's trying to do the world good, and even if he convinced someone, the fact that he was willing to, like, treat Trish, which, of course, looked like it was against his will because he was held up at gunpoint, but obviously he wants to do that. Like, that
well, even if she's unconscious and just because, like, we gotta stop this, like, no, she wants this, we gotta do this, she'll be a good superhero or whatever. And it's just like, dude, yeah. And you know what? I don't think she's going to be. At the end, we see Trish. She has some sort of dexterity powers. She's able to
very quick reflexes.
Yeah. She's able, almost like a spider sense type deal. Obviously, it's different. Good aim. She's able to shoot Jessica's mother from, like, who knows where without a sniper. She was just a handgun, right?
Yeah.
So that's some super. That's like Hawkeye meets Spider-Man.
She's got something going on. So in the comic books, she does ultimately turn into a super powered person named Hellcat. I don't know if they're going to do that exactly, but there is some precedence for what is now Trish Walker's character in this in the MCU.
Do they become enemies, Jessica and Hellcat?
No.
No? Oh. Okay.
I mean, I don't think they're not taking a ton of beats specifically with this season.
Right.
Did you have any favorite episodes?
No, for me they all kind of melded together. I like the parts where Kilgrave started showing up because that I actually became more intrigued.
Well, that was one episode.
That happened too.
It was just exactly one episode.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Well, that episode then.
Yeah, it's not like he didn't start showing up.
No, but like she was like her mind was playing tricks on her, or we think it's playing tricks on her.
It was definitely her internalization, and she's kind of having a mental breakdown. So of course, the thing that she ultimately fears the most, which is Kilgrave and his power over her, kind of is
her way to cope in a way.
Yeah, and he is essentially her voice. That was my number one favorite episode because number one favorite episode and number one least favorite because it made me really sad because holy crap, even in those moments
he was so good.
He's so good.
Yeah. Their
interactions are so good even when he's not even a real character. Are you kidding me?
Dude,
why did you kill him off? What a terrible mistake. What a terrible, horrible mistake you made. Whoever wrote Jessica Jones season 1, that you literally kill off the best character that you had for any of these Netflix shows.
Even when him saying her name, Jessica, it's just like, oh god, here we go.
It's so eerie, so eerie. It's
anything you like.
God, Dave Tennett's so good.
And you know what I'm saying when I say that. You know exactly what I'm saying. Like
yes.
You can hear him. You can hear him saying that, and it's just like, oh snap! But instead of snap, you say poop.
Yeah, I also liked my second favorite episode was the episode that was like almost entirely a flashback. When it went to like basically like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When Jessica was like with her boyfriend, like she met a guy.
Oh my
dating
god!
him, and her mom kills him because she's a terrible person.
Well, she lost her. Yeah, she knew what he was doing. Like,
so just kill someone.
He could have been like just trying to get them away, and he could have went back because he literally said, "You don't understand."
Yeah, he definitely was just trying to do that.
Yeah.
Either way, you can't literally just kill a person in cold blood on 10% of the facts. She's a terrible person. There's nothing that will convince me of otherwise. But I really like that. I really did like that episode, though. That was a good one.
Yeah. But to be fair, too, like she was like, she couldn't really control. It's not like obviously it's her fault. At the same time, like
it is.
At the same time, like the doctor that brought her back to life. Like she's not in full control of her emotions. Like she's going crazy when she loses her temper.
You're right. She's not in full control of her emotions. So she goes from not killing people to killing people. And there's no in between.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah. But she almost kills Jessica.
She murders a lot of people.
Oh, I know she does.
Like a lot of them.
Yeah, she almost kills Jessica. She almost kills Jessica a couple times, but it stops.
All right. So last thing I want to talk about. Obviously, this happens before Infinity War and the events of Infinity War. We know that Luke Cage is going to be coming up. Actually, Luke Cage releases about 6 weeks from now on Netflix. I'm pretty sure they're going to set Luke Cage before the events of Infinity War, probably roughly concurrent with what's happening in the Jessica Jones story. But what do you think is going to happen after that, like in between the Infinity War and then the next Avengers movie? Like, how are they going to do that if anything else happens in the MCU?
I honestly don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think they're gonna just like avoid it. I literally think they're gonna have to set everything before the events of Infinity War. Yeah, like everything. I think they have to. What, are you just gonna have half your people gone? Because that's like the biggest thing that's ever happened in the entire universe. It's not just like you can't just ignore it.
Yeah.
Like people aren't going about their daily lives like. The universe is turned on its head. Every single world and planet and everywhere.
Yeah, everything cut in half. Yep.
Yeah, so they have to. I can't imagine that they're not.
I wish they wouldn't though. I wish they would somehow do something.
I know it would be really interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
like, wouldn't
absolutely.
it be really interesting to have like a season of a show that was in between the two?
Yeah,
or that
sweet.
Like took place like it started before the events of Infinity War and like the happened. Like a handful of episodes into the season, and then the rest of it is that would be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I'd love to watch that.
Yeah, that would make for a good Jessica Jones or Daredevil. Basically, anyone but Iron Fist is what I'm trying to get out. Like Netflix series, because I think that would be really interesting and a lot of fun if that happened. And then you could even get rid of one of the other Defenders characters as long as it wasn't the title character for the show.
Yeah.
Like if it was like in Jessica Jones, you could like Luke Cage like just disappears, and then they got to deal with that
Or or Iron Fist disappears and that's it.
forever.
Forever.
Yeah, he's the worst, isn't he? He's just awful. He's super lame.
I'm sorry. Yeah, his character in general is just like, what?
He's so lame.
Yeah.
He's so lame. In not even that. I was gonna say, so in actual like Marvel comics, Iron Fist eventually becomes Daredevil, and he's not as lame when he's Daredevil.
Yeah.
But he's super. God, Iron Fist is just lame. He's much lamer in the Netflix series than any other representation of Iron Fist. But man,
he's bad.
God, he's the worst.
Yeah.
He would have fit in perfectly on Jessica Jones season 2, where it's just a season of all the worst people that you can't root for. You can't root for anybody.
He's not even bad because he's like a bad character. He's just sorry. It's hard to say. Like he's not because of his morals. It's more because he's just. What are you doing? Like I don't know. He's it's hard to explain. Yeah, crappy character.
He's a crappy dude. Okay, so last thing, Ollie, are you going to what tier are you putting this in? Are you putting it in the wifey tier, putting it in the meatloaf tier, or are you putting it in the poo poo tier?
This is barely meatloaf tier for me.
So this is bad meatloaf.
This is bad meatloaf.
You're really hungry.
I'm really hungry, and right afterwards, right after I eat this, I'm gonna get a stomach virus and have to go poop.
All right. So is it going in the poo poo tier? I'm confused.
It's really close to poo tier. I mean, it's like almost poo poo tier.
So you're just straddling the meatloaf and poo poo Mendoza line.
Yeah, I'm prairie dogging it.
Okay, that's the tier between the meatloaf and poo poo tier, the prairie dog tier?
Prairie dog. I'm prairie dogging this.
Okay,
yeah, it's really close. It's definitely the prairie dog.
I'm gonna go straight meatloaf tier. I'm not excited about it, but I'm like, I mean, I watched it. I don't want my time back. I think the 2 episodes that I
actually take it back. This is poo poo tier.
You can't. You're in. You're out. You're in. You're out. That's prairie dog. Okay.
All right. Prairie dog. I'll stick with prairie dog.
It's just straight meatloaf tier. Like I was excited for it going in, and then just like,
yeah, it
falls apart. It's so much worse.
Yeah.
I don't even think it falls apart. I actually think the second half is better than the first half.
It doesn't build up. Okay, I guess it doesn't fall apart because there's nothing to fall apart from. It's like yeah, kind of trying to build up, but we can't build up into anything.
I also was really annoyed by Oscar and the fact that Jessica immediately like, oh, I hate you, and he's like, I hate you too. And he's like, no, we like each other now.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, let's be together. Anyway, didn't like that. Straight up meatloaf tier. The good episodes are really good. The bad episodes are not. But you got to watch them all to get to the good ones. That's how I feel. I'll watch season 3 if it comes out. You're gonna watch it too because I'm gonna make you.
Yeah.
So you might as well prairie dog that back on up and get in the meatloaf tier.
I'm trying to. No. It's definitely staying in the prairie dog tier. This doesn't exist, but this is where it's at. Okay. It's very close. Very, very close.
All right. Anything else on Jessica Jones season 2 before we wrap up?
No, that's it.
All right. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, question of the week. All right, you know what it's time for?
Question of the week.
Question of the week.
Yeah, not enough people said they liked the singing, so.
Yeah, not enough.
I'm not
so we'll never do it again. It's gone forever. So the question of the week is not about Kamigawa because we've talked about that enough, so we won't be returning to that. Instead, we'll be returning to Dominaria, where we've gotten a closer look at both Chandra and Gideon, which is going to be the focal points of our question of the week this week. Now, obviously, we saw some character development with Chandra, which led her to kind of take some things she learned from Nissa, right?
Mm-hmm.
In her connection with Multani. And we know that Gideon is ultimately going to wield the Black Blade.
The Black Blade reforged.
Despite his maybe his outward desires he will ultimately wield it. So this begs the question, in cardboard form, 2.5 by 3.5 form,
Yeah.
are we going to see a red-green Chandra Planeswalker first or a black-white Gideon Planeswalker first?
100% a black-white Gideon.
No.
My reasoning is, okay, black-white Gideon. Sure, we've seen Chandra develop a little bit with the whole leaf fallen, like dosing the fallen leaf. But Gideon...
No relation. We're not talking about Kamigawa.
I had that in there. It's perfect timing. I believe the Black Blade is going to be much quicker to corrupt and change Gideon's alignment than Chandra's minor involvement with Nissa. And also, we have Sorin somewhere stuck into the statue of a wall, trapped for a long time, okay? So I believe Gideon. So the next Black White Planeswalker, I think definitely could be Gideon because they did imprison Sorin. That's probably for a reason, so they could give way to a Black White Gideon. And we all know, come on guys, we've seen Lord of the Rings. We've seen how bad that corrupts. We've seen Harry Potter and the Horcrux thing, how bad that corrupts.
It's just the Horcrux. It's not the Horcrux thing.
The Horcrux thing, how bad that corrupts.
Put some respect on its name.
So this this Black Blade Reforged is definitely going to corrupt him, and we will definitely see a Black-White Gideon before we see a Green-Red Chandra.
Now, I do think we're going to see a Black-White Gideon Ali. I mean, I even suggested that, in one of the episodes that doesn't have a name in Magic Story earlier. However, the difference is Chandra is wanting to get in touch with the nature side. She is trying to push for this connection, whether she realizes it or not, that she's learned from Nissa. Gideon is going to be incredibly resistant to the powers of the Black Blade, even though I think ultimately we are going to see a Black-White Gideon. He is literally like the most pure character, so it would take the longest for the Black Blade to corrupt him. So, even though I think we're going to see a Black-White Gideon, I think we get a red-green Chandra first because she's going to want to move in that direction, especially with Nissa absent.
I don't know.
I know you don't know. And I don't know either, and that's why this is Question of the Week. You guys can let us know on Twitter, jparnell1 on Twitter, at Ali Eldrazi on Twitter, and of course, at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter. That's our Question of the Week this week. Will we see first a red-green Chandra Planeswalker, a black-white Gideon Planeswalker? Ali, where else can people find you?
You can find me at gatheringmagic.com. If you guys go check my article that came out this Friday, I talk about the mono black deck I played.
I'm checking it out.
At the Classic. I think it's a great deck. Just watch out for black-white vehicles. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Ali Eldrazi. You can follow me on Twitter, or Justin said, twitter.com/Ali Eldrazi. And that's about it. And then, Parnell, where can people find you besides my house?
Well, I'm not. You're at your house. You were at my house last week, but no longer.
Okay.
So I'm not there now. But you can find me, like Ollie said, you can find me on Twitter, at jparnell1 on Twitter. You can also find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of Commander Versus Series. Every Wednesday, we're getting through the season. Not quite halfway through, but it's been a pretty good one so far. A lot of people are asking me to play black. Y'all, I'm obviously going to eventually play back. Pump the brakes, okay? I got to let people win sometimes. I can't just go in and just clean house every time just playing black. It's not going to happen. It's not good entertainment. Real
quick.
Yeah.
For people watching on YouTube, I just want to show you something I got in the mail. I'm really excited for. Okay.
Is that the IDW promo duress?
Yes, it's gorgeous.
How much did you spend on that? It's probably best I don't know.
Yeah, probably best you don't know. But it does look so much better than the ones I was using this past weekend from the mono black deck. So
what characters in that?
Ashiok and
Ashiok
and Ashiok.
I wonder what plane that picture's taking place on.
Actually, I don't know because I'm not sure what
I do. It's Theros.
Dack is a thief for the multiverse. It could be anywhere.
But I know that it's Theros.
You don't know that?
Yeah, I do know because it literally came from a comic that took place on Theros with Ashiok and Dack Fayden.
Nope.
Yes, it did. But you don't want to see that.
Shun the non-believer.
you'd rather go back to Kamigawa than find out what's going on with that
Parnell.
picture because you obviously are willing to live in ignorance.
Parnell,
If you
we're
guys
trying to
want-
wrap up. We're trying to wrap up.
I agree. You keep interrupting me. You were the one that brought up the IDW duress. I just had to give a little history lesson for everybody.
I wish I could do my deep voice.
You can find us on a variety of platforms. Obviously, you're listening on one if you're hearing my voice right now or seeing my face, but you can listen or see us on a variety of platforms, including SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher. We'd love if you were to leave us a comment on one of those or a review on one of those. You can also certainly subscribe to all of those platforms to get an update every single week. You can also contact us directly on Twitter, ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter. And if you want to send us an email, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. We did get a question that I want to talk about on the show, but once we come back to another character where we can talk about it in a little bit more in depth, we're going to do that. So if you guys have questions, especially ones that can be good, fun topics that we can talk about on the show, we'd certainly love to hear any of that. You can also support the show by going to patreon.com/thinktwicemtg and supporting us at any one of our tiers. By the time you guys see this, almost all of those tiers will actually be updated. We're modifying some tiers to give you guys better access to the stuff you want, and actually just adding some stuff that we previously didn't have that we're kind of just trying out to see what you guys like. If you're supporting on Patreon right now, nothing that you have, if you're supporting at a certain tier level, nothing will change. You might just get something extra. Nothing is really going to change. There is one tier level that's changing, but if you've been supporting at that tier, you're going to continue to get that support that we have told you you're going to get. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can go to patreon.com/thinktwicemtg to find out all the details on that. And Ollie and I stream a few times a week on twitch.tv/thinktwicemtg. I know I'm streaming on Wednesday evenings. We're going to try to stream on Thursday evenings as well for a few hours. So check us out if you have the opportunity. Also want to give a shout out to Amber West. You can go to amberwestdesigns.com to see her portfolio. And of course, our director and producer, John Che, he is the man behind the curtain, and he makes all of the things go and buzz and puts pretty stuff on the screen for us.
Dun, dun.
We also want to thank our Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt and Josh Lyons. Thank you guys very much for supporting the show every single week. Ollie, that's the show for this week. I love you very much. I love all of our supporters too.
I love you too, Parnell. Even though you hate, I love you too, Parnell.
Didn't want to finish that sentence?
Nope.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. No need to go back on that train.
Nope.
Let me know what you guys think about Kamigawa, because you already know what I think. Otherwise, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.